Yeah! Star is born. Nicely done.
Yes, thank you.
Have a great time out here.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's about 4% or so, and probably about as low as it's really going to be about 2 million jobs last year. So again, very positive economic sign. $4.6 trillion business, and it's been growing pretty steadily over the past 5 or 6 years. Since the recession in 2008, 2009, we've seen pretty good and pretty steady growth. 2%. And I know in the holiday season, they were up 5.5%. The U.S. must be great, right? Wrong. Right now we have what people talk about in the press as retail Mageddon, right? And, you know, we see it's very low, but the labor market is tight, and that's going to lead to increased wages, minimum wage, which is going to increase wages. So retailers are having trouble getting people and having trouble paying people. So the rich in the country are getting much, much richer. The poor in the country are struggling to stay kind of where they are. So we see increased, polarity between haves and have-nots. Baby boomers account for $2.1 trillion of spending power, but you can see very fast cohorts like the millennials are now pretty much catching up to baby boomers. So they're now the bigger part of the population, and they're starting to have just as much buying power. Married later, they're not as interested in owning a house or buying a car. So a lot of the things that would drive the economy with millennials is going to be a bit different. And I'll read this for you, but it says in 2015, Uber, the world's largest taxi company, owned no vehicles. People really wanting access to things, not ownership. And we say, people don't want to buy a drill, they just want a hole in their wall. So there's a lot better ways to get holes in the wall now by being able to rent, borrow, retail space. By best estimates, we have about 5 times the amount of retail space than anywhere else in the world. And I know you're going to be out in the next several days looking at a lot of retail in the U.S. market is the growth and rise of e-commerce. So at the end of 2017, again, it's been growing double digits every year. It was up over 10% again this year, and it's now about 12% of our overall retail sales is in e-commerce. Sporting goods, toys, it's well over 20% of the market. And our theory is what's happening from a physical retail standpoint is that when e-commerce gets over 20%, it starts to really change the economics of a retail store. If you lose 20% of your traffic or 20% of your sales, it's hard to adjust the economic model. But again, that's scheduled to grow. Millennials are budgeting much more of their money for e-commerce. Higher income, higher for e-commerce. Women, more for e-commerce. And people who live in urban markets are spending more in this area. So you put this all together, and it suggests probably one company that's responsible for most of this in the US, and of course, that's Amazon. So Amazon is the first company and the fastest company to get to $100 billion in sales. On a global basis now, Amazon is the second largest retailer in the world. And obviously they're growing much, much faster than everybody else. $9 a year. We join Amazon Prime. I'm a member. We get free 2-day shipping. We get video content. We get special access to product. Prime member to the rest of the U.S. They have 25% higher average income. So an average Amazon Prime member household makes $70,000 US a year, and that compares to about $55,000 for our overall economy. So not only do they have half our customers, but they have the really good customers. And you can see the difference between a Walmart customer and an Amazon customer. Consumers, when they're looking for a commercial good, go to Amazon first. And that makes sense because, again, those are the Amazon Prime members, and you open up your Amazon app and you're going to them first. Search engines would have been the primary place people went. Now they're going to Amazon. They're going there. So Amazon is growing in all these areas. And then finally, Amazon's not done just trying to be an e-commerce site. They made an acquisition last year. The joke kind of goes, yeah, Alexa, buy me something we plan to do this year is Amazon Prime members will become Whole Food loyalty members, and they'll be able to tie together those two customers, which will be pretty important because there's a lot of overlap between somebody who goes to Whole Food and somebody who shops Amazon. And Amazon Echo. So, you know, you are going to start to see Amazon devices being sold into Whole Foods. And of course, that voice computing technology embedded again into U.S. households. The number of companies that went bankrupt in 2017 into the U.S., either bankruptcy, Chapter 11, closing stores, or trying to close a lot of their stores. And the guys on the left are no longer with us. A lot of apparel companies, a lot of sporting goods, electronics. And again, all those are categories that have over 20% e-commerce penetration in the U.S. And you can see the list kind of going on with some, really large retail store closings in 2017, which is the highest number we've had in the history of the U.S., compared to about 3,000 openings. And again, if you look at where those closings are, the bulk of them were in apparel companies, electronics companies that were part of it. We also see a lot of opportunity in the market. And when you start to look at stores that opened in 2017, we had over 3,000 store openings, and the big bulk of those openings were in companies that were very value-driven. So on the very top of that list, Dollar General opened over 1,200 stores, Dollar Tree, Aldi, TJ Maxx, which is an off-pricer, Lidl, which is a discount store. So you have to go fairly far down that list until you get to a full-price retailer. So lots of companies driving value as part of it. We're in the biggest transformation that's ever happened in retail, and we're right in the middle of it, and it's pretty clear that those rules of what retail are going to change. So we think there's 4 big ways to win at retail as we look into the future. Convenience is going to look differently in the future than we used to think about in the past. So this is not convenience stores, this is really thinking about how you transact and interact with customers differently. Made a big announcement about stores called Amazon Go, and these are going to be small stores. You walk in, walk out, no cashiers. A year later, these stores never opened. So this was a really great video from Amazon, and so far, no reality to the video. And Amazon's pretty good at that. 2 years ago, they talked about drones that were gonna, deliver your stuff. We're still waiting for the drones. But he's really, really good at getting people excited. And this video launched more IT projects at retailers than anything ever in Chicago. It's a fully automated restaurant. You order by your app or by a kiosk, and it's delivered through these cubby holes in about 60 seconds. So they've automated the ordering process, the delivery process, and are able to run. So when you go into the store, you smile at the screen, and once it recognizes you, it has all your loyalty information. It knows what you've ordered before. So Arrive Hotel, this is in Palm Springs. And this is done by ex-Facebook guys. Fully automated, so your mobile phone is your key. It's your order system being, packaged products. In this case, this is salads, wraps, bowls, delivered fresh daily to the customer. And literally trying to be farm to table through vending and technology. Subscription services, products coming to customers' homes. like Blue Apron and Platers better, right? We have to make stores a lot more efficient than they were in the past. All right, let's give it a try.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Each razor has stainless steel blades and aloe vera lubricating strip. Think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? 5 blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
I'm working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay.
YouTube video for $25,000. Got it on viral video, and it became one of the most watched videos ever. And from that simple video, he launched this company, Dollar Shave Club, with the Unilever. So that went from a really cute video to, wow, that guy built $1 billion business. And when you think about value, we think it has 3 components. Obviously, price and having great prices. A treasure hunt, so customers are always coming to the store to find what's new. And then a really strong private label program to offer differentiation. So as much as we've seen e-commerce grow, these 2 dollar stores alone added over 2,000 stores in the U.S. And these stores are very much driven around very low prices, but always different products coming in, so customers want to come and find what's new. Still offers better value, you can get cheaper prices, and there's always the reason to come to Costco and find new products all the time. Aldi also was on that top list of growth. The German company, they're going to add about 700 stores in the U.S. over the next 4 years to get to 2,500 stores. And where Aldi was once a very, low price, very kind of poor environment, the new Aldis are actually really nice. So still all private label, but they're selling organic products and more health-driven private label. Another German retailer, Lidl, entered the U.S. doing very much the same thing. And not only are we seeing this happen from a store standpoint, we're also seeing it online. This is a new startup called Brandless. Every item they offer is $3 on their website, and they show you a brand tax. So when you go on there, they'll show you how much money you save by buying their product versus buying a brand name. Is experience. And of course, this is where we spend a lot of time and effort, is thinking about how retail can transform and be more exciting. And Disney says that the heart and soul of any company is creativity and innovation. And this is really where we see retailers being their most interesting, their most creative. And spend more time in your stores, building a brand, so focusing on the experience, not just product, and then having the notion that the store is never changing. So it's never the same as I go through the stores. So some examples of that, one of the best shopping centers we have in the U.S. is in California, called The Grove. And what The Grove does is it holidays. The stores in The Grove, Italy, which I know you have in Brazil as well, it says we want to be eating, shopping, and learning. And Oscar Farinetti, the CEO, says if I can get people to learn, to spend time with my products, they're going to spend more money. So Italy creates this experience first, product second kind of environment to solely focus on experience and don't have any products at all. This is Nordstrom Local, which is also out in the Los Angeles area. And this store has no products at all, so much the products in the store. And of course, the big brands like Adidas and Nike are doing the same thing. This is Adidas Innovation Lab. And the idea is every time you go in there, you're going to see something completely different than the last time. So this notion that the store won't be fixed, an example of experience. If the average Starbucks store in the U.S. is 150 square meters, These stores are going to be upwards of 2,000 square meters. Spend a lot of time on experience, right?
Que vende café num lugar tão grande. Está experimentando experiência com o café.
There's multiple bars. There's a place to get, fast coffee. There's a place to get drip roasts and different kinds of techniques. There's a tea bar. There'll be more food service. So really the notion is we want customers to really engage with our brands, right? And to have ownership and intimacy with the brands. This is a picture of Lululemon, a yoga class taking place in the retail store. And the latest one in New York, which hopefully you guys are going to. Yeah, good. You'll actually see a yoga customer is about the key elements of time. So I want to compete for share of time with all the things that customers have to do in their lives. Not just other retail stores. They can go to movie theaters. They can be on Netflix. So how do I win their time? How do I create customers on creating products, personalizing products? Having customer really be part of your business, down to the supply chain, and then really having strong values. The Converse store allows you to make your own masterpiece. They say it's blank canvas, so customers can create their own shoes. Warby Parker has a very social element involved in eyeglasses. So being able to engage your friends, how do I look, and using social media is a big part of their proposition. Everlane is a website that we featured in Retail Innovations, and they just opened their first 2 stores, including one in Soho in New York, which hopefully you'll have a chance. So they look at a cost of a product, and they'll tell you how much is in the materials, how much is involved in the labor, how much is involved in shipping it to the store. So, and of course, who's making your product for you? So they offer complete transparency, something very different in a physical store. So stores aren't going away, even for the guys who say, I'll never have stores. We're going to say the ultimate retailer of the future, the ultimate omni-channel retailer is going to have these pieces as part of their store. Pricing is going to be the same as it is on the website, and it's going to change all the time. One view of the customer, so I know exactly who that customer is, whether they're shopping on a catalog online in my store. Assortments that's exactly right for the neighborhood that it's in. Hyper-local assortments. Give them reasons to be in the store. So reasons to stick around and stay around, whether that's food or classrooms or activity. And then technology that makes it really easy for them to get in and out and to transact. And then a lot of times I've asked to say, okay, well, who is that retailer, right? Tell me who that retailer is that's doing all this stuff so well. And either fortunately or unfortunately, the answer is Amazon.
Amazon Books, olha aí,
right? So when Amazon opened up Amazon bookstores, what Amazon's doing in these stores is bringing all these omni-channel pieces to bear. The prices are the same as they are on the website, so they change all the time. So you're priced on your app. In the center there, they always partner with a very good local food provider and a good brand there to give people reasons to stay in the store. The assortment is exactly right for the neighborhood, so Amazon knows with their data what people are buying exactly around the stores. And then they're able to bring all that information from the store. What are our highest rated books? What are the fastest books to read because of Kindle? They know how long the book can be read, what books are most desired on wish lists. And finally, you're checking out with your app. So it's a cashless kind of transaction that's done through your Amazon app. So that's really what Omni is going to look like, and what as retailers we need to aspire to create that experience. So be social, take a stand. Engage with your customer. Obviously have one view of them so you know who they are, and then keep the assortments ever changing. So hopefully that's easy, right? We can do all that. So I'll leave you with one last piece of advice, because the NRF show can be so overwhelming.
decidindo
there's
não
so much
fazer
there,
o
there's so much that you
que
can
fazer.
do, that Steve Jobs
Steve Jobs.
once said, deciding what not to do is as important as what to do. So when you look at the whole long list of things that can happen, it's really important that you, NRF, have a lot of fun in the US, spend lots of money, and obrigado.
Obrigado.